Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Thursday, the 31st of March. Crikey, as time flies. The first quarter almost over. So, watch out, last day of the month. We might get a bit of rebalancing going on. And a quarterly bit of jiggery pokery. Anyway, for now, let's have a look at the markets. We're going to start off, of course, looking at the risk, the impact news, what we've got coming out today, and there's not a great deal actually. Canadian GDP this afternoon. We've got OPEC meetings today, which watch out for all, but well, I say I don't expect anything. I don't expect anything at all there. So we may or may not get discussions of pumping extra oil or whatever else, but I would imagine they're going to keep the status quo, but we'll see. Anyway, Canadian GDP, US core personal consumption expenditure coming out there at 130. Minus, unfortunately, because it's a monthly GDP, it comes out and it's doesn't really create a lot in the way of ripples, so it doesn't have a massive impact, but we'll see. Nothing else really there. A speaker, let me just check on my other system to see what speakers we got coming this morning, today even. Can't see a lot of speakers out there at all today until, no, Fed Williams at 2 o'clock. So Fed Williams at 2 o'clock today. And Swiss National Bank, nope, that's it. So Fed Williams at 2 o'clock, but there might be others. Just be wary. Okay, so that's that for a moment. Let's look at the markets. Starting off looking, we'll start off looking at Euro as in the normal old order. And the Euro got a continuation kicker yesterday. It just pushed on through, broke out the took the prior highs out. Today though, it's run into its daily 50. Have we got much more in this move to go? Well, who knows? It's certainly looking like it, well, a test of that 50 could occur, and then you're just looking at the hourlies here. Sorry, 4 hourlies. Consolidation around them. Looks like it could yet have another push on through. So at the moment, looking a little bit more bullish. Going against the grain on a lot of other things, sentiment, etc., but certainly looking bullish in the shorter terms for the high, low, high, high. Just a bit dull with its bullishness. I mean, it just took so much time through some of these moves, and yesterday quite choppy, pushing out there in the afternoon, and then it just pretty much went sideways. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see some of the same. Pound-wise, again yesterday the pound got a bit of a jig on, but gave it back, and it's difficult one to read at the moment. Whenever I look at this and it looks choppy, it's obviously difficult to read. Coming in for, well, it's still got this lower high in, and it's struggling to get back up towards yesterday's highs, but anywhere near yesterday's highs. It's the overnight highs it's struggling to get back to at the moment. But again, if we get a continuation of strength of the US dollar, perhaps weakness of the US dollar, even, we'll get a wiggle on the pound post 8 o'clock. It's just this sort of stalling period while people wait to see what happens a lot. The yen, well, it's been strengthening over the last 2 days. Started off that way this morning. Did have my little trend line there, looking at it yesterday evening. I'll put it on there again, and it's not really wanting to go past that at the moment. And if anything, it's tried, but just went into the cluster of moving averages and failing. So the yen just looks like it's got more potential to the downside at the moment. Aussie dollar, as choppy as anything is the answer to this one. I've sort of looked at it. I keep on looking at it and thinking, oh, it's got some scope or whatever else. Yesterday it looked like in the later on in the day when I was looking at it after 8 o'clock, it then started coming back midday-ish, and I thought, oh, this might break soon. Did it? No. Looks very, very soft. Rolling over where we are at the moment, and it just looks like it's going to be a range play. So it's not far off the low of that range. The trouble is it's knocked on the door so many times you do wonder if it'll roll over altogether. Okay, that's the Aussie. Canadian, if only I can pop it through there. So Canadian dollar selling, been selling off here. The US dollar, Canadian dollar. Canadian dollar's been doing okay when I say selling off. It broke its lows yesterday, and I thought, well, we're going to get a bit more of a move possibly. I missed the move on the break. Because the markets are so slow, you sort of adjust to them a little bit, and well, it broke, but managed to come back. It was later in the session. It's 4 o'clock candle, so it was out of my normal trading phase. I was looking at my intention was to, if it came back, to look to sell it, but it's not happening, is it? It's pushed on beyond, put a higher low in. Perhaps it'll roll back today. As I say, these markets, they are in a chop and they're a bit rangy, and this is just really pretty close to back to those prior highs here. Maybe we just get selling coming back in, but not a pretty sight at all. I mean, I was looking at it last week thinking it wasn't pretty at times, but we had some decent opportunities turn up, and some of the cross pairs are actually still showing opportunities, but against the dollar it's difficult at the moment there. Okay, let's look at the commodities. So gold yesterday was pushing back up, came to the underside of its trend line there. I don't know if I've got that trend line on the 4 hourly, probably not. No, it's pretty much at 200, but came to the underside, well, pitched through the 200 a little bit, but the actual trend line there is come into that trend line, but you can see it's just a cluster of moving averages there. It eventually sort of broke through everything but the 34, and then it's rolled a bit. To me, looking at the shape of things here, it's put a new low in there, so effectively from the overall picture here, it's confirmed a lower high, a more significant lower high there, but it's dancing around at the moment. It looks like it might want to get a move back up again, but really depends on the dollar this morning. We saw the sort of a weak dollar yesterday, then it started strengthening, and it's quite a mixed old bag. As I said, it's not the easiest point to be trading from, and the patience it's needed not to go chasing trades is great, and taking trades against what you would sometimes do if it's working in a channel. Sometimes you just got to play the channels when the market goes like this. However, gold, I think I'll just steer clear of it, although it is, as I say, it's just putting a little bit more of a bullish swing in there, and got potential. If anything, just looking at the charts, looks like it's got potential. Oil, well, of course, we've got the meeting later. Messy old move in the bigger picture now. It's starting to get quite choppy. Yesterday it had been looking like, well, perhaps it was going up for another wave, but this morning already rolled back a little bit. Now, I haven't seen comments to suggest why that's happened or pick up, but it is right into its well, it's pretty close to its moving average. It actually comes short of its 4 hourly 50 and 34 there. That would have been there to provide some resistance, and the trend line all come a bit short of it, but it's picking up again now. It seems to, it's got down to its S2, right the way down to its S2 area, so it's quite some sell-off there at 1 o'clock, but we'll see what happens. But it's looking, I mean, when you see these sell-offs, I mean, see the bulls climb up the stairs and the bears jump out the window, and well, these certainly are quite some strong shoves. Some bearish old moves kicking through there at times, and it does make me wonder whether we'll see a bit more correction. Maybe it'll hold around the $100 mark longer, but we'll see. As I say, can only wait and see on some of these markets. Right, we've looked at all those. Let's have a look. Switch markets and bring in the time. Is it? I'll come back to that in a minute. It's a quick look at the cryptos from what's been going on. Positive overnight, consolidating more on the Bitcoin. Not surprised at this. It's sort of that concern. The fear's gone away a little bit, and we're getting into that sort of in-betweeny sort of stage. But it just really needs something. It's into its monthly R1 at the moment. It's quite interesting how the pivots are having an effect on the cryptos. The more the market seems to be more volatility and more users in it, the more it's been sort of working towards those pivots. But for now, yep, sitting there in the R1, Bitcoin at maybe a break of that area, could see a continuation and signify a push further up. The Ethereum, as I've been mentioning recently, yes, it did come off yesterday, but it's generally been going in an easier mode. But even that, it's sitting around its R1 at the moment. That's going to disappear tomorrow at R1. Maybe if that's what's holding them back, it gives us the opportunity. Ripple, not really doing too much, but slowly gaining. Certainly lost its fizz, as a lot of these have. They're just sort of consolidating. This sort of almost disbelief. You get this sort of, well, perhaps it's still going to go down some more, and there may be a battle going on. Just looking through Binance BNB, just working slightly better, but again into its R1, prior highs at R1, just struggling a little bit across the board there. So a bit more stepped, a bit more even on BNB, so looking better. Ethereum again, a bit more stepped. Okay, we had to consolidate a small bar yesterday, a little spinning top, but looks a bit more positive this morning. So those two really still stand out a little bit for me, more positive. Looking at the indices overnight, then after I can't get anything apart from being bearish on these markets. It's on this, I say on these markets, on this market, the CSI 300 still looks a bit soft today. Well, last night through the Asian session even, it just managed to short a small day down there, but not looking positive. And the Nikkei 225 also coming up to, maybe it's just put a little bit of the top on these markets, just struggling a little bit. Nifty is flat where it sits at the moment. It did pop up and again run out of legs at the moment. That could pick up through the last part of the Indian market there, but it's flattish at the moment, struggling. Looking at European, well, actually let's have a look at the US markets first. All a bit up this morning, tiny bits. Again, S&P's, well, yesterday it sold back a little bit. Bearish Harami maybe, we'll wait and see, but a bit softer, but it almost needs a retrace in all what we've seen here. It's just sort of these markets have been pushing up. You almost think, well, it needs a bit of a retrace now. I'd like to see a bit of a retrace. If you was to get long, it may give some opportunities as well. For those that want to get long, may give some opportunities. Just buying into what could turn out to be highs may not be so good. I'm going to do a bit of a more analysis on that later this morning, but all of these pushing up at this stage, and we've seen the DAX this morning kicking off nicely and picking up, so maybe a sign of things to come across into the other markets, the US markets later. So again, pushing up yesterday. Well, maybe after that solid old day it had on Tuesday, bit of a relief, a bit of profit taking, but all in all, these say US markets looking a bit more positive. The FTSE, the Dow Jones, also everything just looking okay at the moment, looking positive. There you go. Sort of positive look on the stocks. We know that I know that might stop soon, but for now, that's the way we've got to be playing them. Okay, that's it for me. I wish you a great day, and I'll catch you later. Bye for now.